When new anime are released on a regular basis, it can be sometimes challenging to keep up with the ones that are already available to watch.
And then I told you to stop, so knock it off!
Welcome to Animeology once more. Today, we've put together a list of some of the most iconic airing anime that you won't want to miss. So, make sure to stick around until the end, as we're sure you'll discover some anime that are definitely worth checking out. Number 10, the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world.
We bear witness to the end of the strongest exorcist in history.
Despite being the most powerful exorcist, Hariyoshi Kuga sought even more power, which led to his demise at the hands of those who envied his power. As he takes his final breath, he casts a spell that allows him to reincarnate and vows to become more cunning, hoping that all his efforts will be fruitful in his next life. Hariyoshi is soon reborn in another world as Saga Lamperouge, the illegitimate son of a noble family that takes pride in its magic. His new family, however, largely ignores him due to his lineage and magic deficiency. Nonetheless, the unconcerned Saga uses his previous life's knowledge to gain numerous valuable allies. Saga must be cautious of the consequences that tarnished his past and take care to avoid making the same mistakes as he starts to explore the true limits of his abilities. As he begins to explore the true limits of his abilities, Saga must also be wary of the consequences that tarnished his past and avoid repeating the same mistakes. Number 9, High Card. Finn, who was living freely on the streets, set out for a casino after learning that his orphanage was on the verge of closing due to financial difficulties. But nothing could have prepared Finn for the nightmare he was about to experience. When Finn arrived, he was involved in a car chase and bloody shootout caused by a man's lucky card. Finn will eventually understand the reason behind the shootout. A 52-card deck of X playing cards with the ability to bestow various superhuman abilities and powers on those who possess them can control the world order. People can use these cards to access the hidden power of their buddy that they can find within themselves. There's a secret group of players called High Card who have been directly ordered by the King of Foreland to collect the cards that have been scattered throughout the kingdom while moonlighting as employees of the luxury car maker Pinochle. Scouted to become the group's 5th member, Finn soon joins the players on a dangerous mission to find these cards. Number 8, Buddy Daddies. On Christmas Eve, 4-year-old Miri Unasaka arrives in Tokyo completely alone, in search of her father. The bright lights and merry atmosphere guide Miri to a big hotel and a man with a delicious-looking cake. However, the child has just unknowingly walked into the center of an elaborate, foolproof plan for assassinating a dangerous mafia boss. Professional assassins Kazuki Kurusu and Rei Suwa live together, fleeing memories of their grim childhoods and avoiding emotional connections. When their mission goes awry and they end up bringing Miri home, there's only one reasonable thing to do: return Miri to her mother. But the girl's innocent laugh and pure worldview quickly enamor her to Kazuki, who secretly enjoys playing a parent, and it's not long before Rei's impenetrable heart makes room for Miri. Kazuki and Rei both decide to provide Miri with a normal childhood despite all the odds stacked against them.
I'm your papa! Papa! Miri, come here!
Number 7, Nier Automata.
Ordered attack puts an unusually high
Now pot. Fire!
Humanity is preparing for its final stand in a post-apocalyptic world where machine life forms created by aliens have taken over. Humans are relying on a group of artificially created android soldiers known as Your Soldiers after being forced to flee to the moon for safety. Led by the all-purpose battle android Yority Go and B-Gotta 2B, the group will fight to take control of the Earth back from its invaders. The Yor gradually starts to recognize the first glimmers of reality beneath the brutal conflict as the war against the machines intensifies. The unflinching warrior 2B begins to doubt her very existence as she deals with the harsh reality in front of her and wonders how much she must give up for humanity.
Would you just die already?
Number 6. Tomochan Is A Girl.
June, you pathetic asshole!
Someone's in a mood today.
Tomo Aizawa and Junichiro Jun Kubota are childhood friends who do everything together, whether it's trading or just having a good time. Anyone would assume that these two are lifelong best friends. The only problem is that the tomboyish Tomo is in love with Jun, but he treats her like a brother.
I can't sit around waiting because I'm afraid to look silly. The acorn went rolling, rolling down to the pond.
At the beginning of their first year of high school, Tomo tells Jun how she feels. However, Jun's heart is unmoved by her rough demeanor and willingness to punch without hesitation. Realizing that unless she intervenes, he will remain oblivious to her affections, Tomo must find a way to shock Jun and open his eyes to what is right in front of him.
And then I told you to stop, so knock it off!
Number 5. Farming Life in Another World.
なんだこいつ
Hiraku Machio spent the last years of his life in a hospital bed, suffering from a terminal illness, until he passed away. A god, moved by Hiraki's unfair life, decides to reincarnate him in another world where he can live as he pleases. Wanting to try farming in his new life, he's given an all-in-one, almighty farming tool that can transform into any useful implement he desires. Hiraku is then transported to a forest that appears to be far away from civilization. He intends to build and farm everything from scratch. However, what Hiraku wasn't aware of was that he was teleported into the Forest of Death, where the strongest monsters are rumored to be around, as well as the Demon King. But this doesn't stop him from achieving his dreams of being a farmer, as people are drawn to him over time due to his overwhelming strength and nice hospitality. Number 4. Bungo Stray Dogs Season 4.
By my calculations, you have 3 seconds. 2, 1.
From Season 3, we know that after the battle, it's business as usual once again for the Armed Detective Agency. However, their peaceful break will not last for long, as enemies old and new gather their strength and prepare for another face-off. In Season 4, Yukichi Fukuzawa, who is no longer interested in military matters, plans to work as a lone bodyguard for hire, using his lethal swordsmanship. However, things in his freelance business are not going as he had hoped. Presently, Ranpo finds himself chasing down a gifted individual with the dangerous ability to execute the perfect crime. But as the great detective unravels the case, he soon discovers an elaborate plot to obliterate the agency in its entirety. Although forewarned of the trap, the agency continues its pursuit of the criminals, only to end up framed for the crime themselves. Now branded as wanted terrorists, the remaining members must find a way to prove their innocence, even if they must turn to sworn enemies for assistance.
Should I keep going, mister?
Silence!
Number 3, The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten.
だから当然人気がある。うちの男子生徒のほとんどが彼女と付き合いたいと思っているはずだ。まあ俺には縁のない世界の話だ。
My Hero Sheena is deserving of the moniker Angel, as she's a divine beauty adored by all and a model student athlete. Sheena's next-door neighbor, Amane Fujimiya, lives in a very different world than she does. Despite being neighbors, they have never even exchanged a word. However, Fujimiya breaks the tension between them by lending Sheena his umbrella after noticing her glumly sitting on a swing in the middle of a downpour. When Fujimiya catches a cold the next day, Sheena wishes to return the favor for the umbrella by nursing him back to health. Believing that this would be their first and last interaction, he silently appreciates her kindness. However, Sheena, who cannot help but worry about Fujimiya's lack of tidiness and proper nutrition, begins to cook and clean for him. As the unlikely pair spend time together in Fujimiya's apartment, they explore the true nature of their relationship and the gentle emotions that emerge from it. Number 2, Blue Lock.
6 meters to the right is your teammate. If you pass, your team's guaranteed to score a goal. The championships, the hope of a nation, they're all riding on you. Only an insane egoist could take that shot without a second's hesitation.
Yoichiro Isagi was seconds away from scoring a goal that would have advanced his high school soccer team to the national championships, but a split-second decision to pass the ball to a teammate cost him that opportunity. Isagi, who is angry, perplexed, and disappointed, questions whether the result would have been different if he hadn't made the pass. When the young striker returns home, an invitation from the Japan Football Union awaits him. Isagi is one of 300 U18 strikers chosen from an arbitrary and biased selection process for a contentious project called Blue Lock.
It's a cheap shot, but so what? You're it!
The project's ultimate goal is to turn one of the selected players into the star striker for the Japanese national team. To find the best participant, each diamond in the rough must compete against each other through a series of solo and team competitions to rise to the top. Putting aside his ethical objections to the project, Isagi feels compelled to fight his way to the top, even if it means ruthlessly crushing the dreams of 299 aspiring young strikers.
That's what it takes. Someone who will climb atop 299 corpses. A solitary hero.
Number 1, Vinland Saga Season 2. From the previous season, we know that Thorfinn attacks and cuts Canute in despair, but Canute takes command and claims command of the Viking army and the rule of England. Thorfinn is pulled away and drops his knife in the confusion. In Season 2, after his father was killed and his village was destroyed by English raiders, Einar hoped for a quiet life with his family on their recently renovated farms. But destiny has other ideas, and another invasion occurs in his village. As the raiding Danes burn down his lands and massacre his family, Einar can only watch helplessly. Einar is taken prisoner by the invaders and sent back to Denmark as a slave.
Come on. Go ahead and beg for your life. Be honest with yourself. And it's only going to get smaller the longer we do this.
In order to survive, Einar clings to his mother's last words. Ketil, a kind landlord and slave owner, buys him and assures Einar that if he works in the fields, he will be freed. Soon after, Einar meets Thorfinn, a dejected and melancholy slave, who will be his new partner in farm cultivation. Both their past transgressions and current schemes follow Einar and Thorfinn as they work together to achieve their freedom. In spite of this, they continue on, searching for a sliver of justice, redemption, and peace in a cruel and unforgiving world.
Would have been too rank and filthy for anybody to eat.